Morning guys, Tuesday the 16th of June. Oh, a bit fresher this morning but still warm. Just bumped into another Weimaraner, actually the same breed as Willow, and we were saying how there is something about, can't speak for other breeds, but whenever she's met another Weimaraner there seems to be a bit more of an interest, they take more of a interest in each other. So I must understand on some level that they are similar. So yeah, it's quite nice actually. Wasn't it? Well, it's quite nice being out in the walking in the open. It's interesting because yesterday I was on a number of Zoom calls, all to do with Zoom training, blended learning and so forth. And don't get me wrong, it's all great stuff and obviously want to learn as much as possible, but I think it's also, by the time I'd finished the other one, they're both nearly 2 hours long, felt quite overwhelmed, like my head was in a headspace, and and then sort of my partner was then talking about taking Willow for a walk later on, and I sort of and I nearly didn't go because, like, in your head's just like, being overwhelmed and kind of, don't really want to do that. Have I got the headspace or should I just leave it? But then I just thought, no, I'm been doing such heady stuff, so to speak. I'm going to go for the walk, and I'm glad I did, because that physically getting yourself out, literally, and I've always said this, when you're coming for this walk and walking in nature, it enables you to physically get out of your own headspace, and helps the process of just giving some perspective as well, actually. Yeah, giving some perspective to how you can feel about overwhelm and having lots of things to do or to consider or to learn, to reflect on. And sometimes when you're thinking about how much you might need to have to do, that can also send you into what I call a bit of an overwhelm headspace as well. So I just think that coming out in nature just frees something up, frees your mind up, frees your mind, your headspace. Perspective, clarity, knowing that something bigger than, I think it's, you hear the birds, it's quite soothing as well. Isn't it? Well, should we go up that woody bit again? Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think the things that you tend to think, oh, I haven't got the effort and energy for, particularly physical things, like sometimes, and I've done it, be like, oh, I know that, say for example, if I go and do some physical exercise, or when the gym I was going to, that's closed at the moment, but when you go to the gym and stuff, it can be an effort getting there. But actually 9 times out of 10 most people will know the experience that once you've done it, it actually feels better. You feel better for it. And I think there is that moment sometimes where you can't always wait to feel motivated, you've almost got to push through the can't be bothered, shan't I, to know that you will often feel better and clearer and more motivated and feel better about yourself if you push through the other side. So that in the old, is it the Nike advert of just, it's Nike, isn't it? Just do it. It literally is sometimes a case of you can think and or overthink as much as you like, but at the end of the day, sometimes there's just no other replacement for just doing it and just to see what the doing it brings and how that enables you to feel, rather than waiting to have the feeling first to then do it. I also think that's that's one of the upsides of having an animal as well, actually, that you take some responsibility for. I mean, especially with dogs, depending on the breed, some obviously need more walk than others, but most dogs still need some level of some kind of walk. So I think the whole point of feeling, you know, even if you don't feel like it, there's something else that you're also feeling, you know, it's just something or somebody else you've got to think about, got to take responsibility for, that's relying on you. I think that's also a really good thing to have in life. And it could be that isn't necessarily just an animal, it might be people who are responsible for other things that are reliant on them, like for example growing vegetables or, you know, flowers, tending to things that just need more time and encouragement. But I think, yeah, something that people can feel they're enjoying, they're involved in, that's giving them some element of responsibility and motivation at times can be really helpful. And as I said, sometimes you'll go, oh, do I have to, or can I really be bothered? But actually, I think overall, certainly in the long term, it is much, it's better, it's just better for you as an individual, I think, as well as to connect with, well, to connect with others and connect with the outside world. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be people, it can just feel that you're connected to the universe, you're connected to the world and nature. And I think especially in the current times, with some people feeling quite isolated as well, and particularly maybe if people also don't really have or haven't had much of an outside space, that sense of isolation, and the fact that it can almost, it starts to make somebody's world feel a lot smaller, which doesn't always help. So if you can get out in nature, that can offer a sense of expanding your world. Your world feels that little bit bigger, which is important because that then gives your mind a bit more space to feel. You can think and it can open and expand it. So guys, thoughts, reflections. What do you need to do today to keep your mind open and expanded? What do you need to do for yourself to enable yourself to see a slightly bigger world, bigger picture just outside of yourself? And perhaps also what you need to do to keep connected outside of yourself as well. Have the rest of a tutti frutti, tasty Tuesday, and I shall speak to you later, guys. Bye.